I first heard the word octogenarian in, of all places, Mountain City, Missouri. I wanted a definition of that word, so I went to the local newspaper thinking they would know. They were busy getting today's paper out, so they totally ignored me. So as I walked out, two local residents were on their way by. Maybe they knew. They also ignored me because they were on their way to their favorite store down the block. So I did what I always do in a situation like this. I go to Google. And ironically, in the definition of octogenarian, they talked about an older sister who is 80. How ironic is that? Now, since I knew the definition, I was anxious to talk to a real live octogenarian. I ran into this lady down the block who I was pretty sure was an octogenarian. So I very politely asked, "What do you think of being an octogenarian?" She didn't say a word. Of course, I wanted to know what Carole thought about reaching this milestone. And finally, I always valued Uncle Steve's opinion, and he's getting close to this magic number. I think it's time to move on. It would be appropriate for mom and dad to talk about the early years. So let's take a look and see what they had to say.
And after Carole was born, we rented a two-bedroom house at 1114 South 54th Street, which is where stuck his head out and hit the fire plug and fell out of the bedroom window and hit a fire in that house because the chimney burned out. We also were struck by lightning in that house, knocked the chimney off of the house. But it was a nice little house, and we lived there when Jim and Linda were both born. And in 1950, we were transferred to Hastings, Nebraska. We first rented a house on 4th Street.
144.
144 East 4th Street. And then a couple from Omaha that we got acquainted with. I mean, we knew were transferred out, and so we bought their house at 217 East 7th Street in Hastings.
207.
They and Gordon McAllister.
207 East 7.
207. I said corrected.
The one thing we did though, when we were in Hastings with our kids, we played a lot of baseball and everything, and we would say that we didn't care about the front yard. You remember when your kids were playing baseball out there in Hastings and they play in the front yard? We said, well, we can raise grass, but we can't raise kids. We just let them tear up the yard out there. Well, Carole was pretty athletic, and she would go with Jim and I and Linda to play and everything, but at Washington School, they used Carole to demonstrate. The coach over there used Carole to demonstrate what he thought was a classic baseball stance with a baseball bat. And the guys over there,
To show the boys how
to show the boys how. He used her as the classic example of the right stance up there to play with the baseball.
She always used to hit the ball further than I did. I never really.
Really?
Oh, you made me angry.
Yeah, I did not know that. I never
For a long
heard
time, she could hit the ball further than I could.
I did not know that.
Summer 1952, when we moved back to Omaha and rented a house in Benson. And we were in that house for 2 years, and then we bought a house on Leavenworth Street, which kind of put us back in the same neighborhood as we were when Jim and Linda were born. We lived in that house for 15 and a half years.
I'm sure you will remember the system that Mom put in place to keep track of who was home and who was not home. A beautiful 3-light floor lamp that we all used when we got home, turning off our respective light. But I want to use this opportunity to say a thank you. Being the firstborn is always the most difficult road because they are plowing the ground with mom and dad that the rest of us don't have to go through. And for that, Sister Carole, I wanted to thank you for a long time because you made my life much easier by taking on those moments that a firstborn will only know.
Omaha, you've been weighing heavy on my mind. Guess I never really left it all. I'm turning all those roads I walked around the other way, coming back to you, Omaha. Omaha, Nebraska wasn't good enough for me.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to get up before dawn, milk cows, work all day in the fields, milk cows again, eat supper, then go to town and stay past midnight at a meeting of the school board. So God made a farmer. I need somebody with arms strong enough to wrestle a calf and yet gentle enough to deliver his own grandchild. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody strong enough to clear trees and heave bales, yet gentle enough to yean lambs and wean pigs and tend the pink-combed pullets, who will stop his mower for an hour to splint the broken leg of a meadowlark. It had to be somebody who'd plow deep and straight and not cut corners, somebody to seed, weed, feed, breed, and rake and disc and plow and plant and tie the fleece and strain the milk and replenish the self-feeder and finish a hard week's work with a 5-mile drive to church.
Oh Lord, my God, when I lost and wandered, a sinner all, the words my hands has
Well, life on the farm is kinda laid back. Ain't much an old country boy like me can't hack. It's early to rise, early in the sack. Thank God I'm a country boy. Or a sweet, so I keep it kinda low. Thank God I'm a country boy. I'd play Sally Gooden all day if I could, but the Lord and my wife wouldn't think it very good. So I fiddle when I can and I work when I should. And thank God I'm a country boy. Well, I got me a fine wife, I got me old fiddle. When the sun's coming up, I got cakes on the griddle. Life ain't nothing but a funny, funny riddle. Thank God I'm a country boy.
I remember this. But there was a house right here. I thought it was Clifford Ward. I don't, Jim might know.
This road's basically here for farmers to get to their fields. I don't think there's anybody who lives out this way.
Oh, there's the tower. Isn't that right up on our, yeah?
Yeah.
Where the house was? Oh my God. I don't see the red barn. I know. It's gone. Well. The road looks the same though, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
It does.
The road comes to an end, at least by mapping.
It does end.
Well, didn't Evie and
No, you couldn't go through.
you couldn't go through that way, but they
You
did.
had,
live right over there.
yeah, they're right over the hill,
How
but
did we have to do it then?
you had to go out and around.
Out and around. Oh, okay.
Still an old shed back in
Oh, there it is. I got to go. That's the old tractor shed.
Yeah, the old tractor shed. Oh my gosh.
I got to take a picture of that one. Take a left in. This is
a.
that pine tree. That great pine tree's gone.
Oh yeah.
Take a left in. Yeah, there we go.
The chicken house was to the right over here. Yeah, the chicken yard. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
When you've lived more than 40 years and 2,000 miles apart. It's hard to find pictures of the moments during that time, but there were places that we were together over those years. So let's take a look and see what we can find.
I've traveled every road in this here land. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. I've traveled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, Sarasota, Wichita, Tulsa, Ottawa, Oklahoma, Tampa, Panama, Mattawa, La Paloma, Bangor, Baltimore, Salvador, Amarillo, Tocopilla, Barranquilla, and Padilla. I'm a killer. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. I've traveled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Boston, Charleston, Dayton, Louisiana, Washington, Houston, Kingston, Texarkana, Monterey, Faraday, Santa Fe, Tallapoosa, Glen Rock, Black Rock, Little Rock, Oskaloosa, Tennessee, Chicopee, Spirit Lake, Grand Lake, Devil's Lake, Crater Lake, Beach Lake. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. I've traveled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Louisville, Nashville, Knoxville, Omaha, Shefferville, Jacksonville, Waterville, Costa Rica, Pittsfield, Springfield, Bakersfield, Shreveport, Hackensack, Cadillac, Fond du Lac, Davenport, Idaho, Jellicoe, Argentina, Diamantina, Pasadena, Catalina, see what I mean? I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. I've traveled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Pittsburgh, Parkersburg, Gravelburg, Colorado, Ellensburg, Rexburg.
The best part of the nearly 80 years has been watching your family grow and flourish. It's time to find a place on the porch, sit back, and enjoy life. You deserve it. Happy birthday.